Hello, Chris Walker here with Big Angie Fan Channel here in beautiful Hawaii. And this is another in my series of A to Z reactions based on the compilation of 132 Angelina Jordan songs that Rusty Shackleford put together. This is going to be kind of a quick edit. I'm not going to have a lot of titles on this or anything because you might have noticed that I haven't had as many videos out lately because I've been spending a lot of time editing. In fact, this video we're going to look at, which is Oslo, is an example of an editing job that took a long time. So I'll get into that later, but just before I start, speaking of editing time, I don't talk about my Patreon a lot at all, and I don't want my Patreon to be a big deal. But here with YouTube, I'm on the road to very close to reaching 20,000, and I have a much smaller goal with my Patreon of 50. And you can get a membership for as low as $1 or $2, I think it is, and that's fine. But I would like to get it up to 50, and to sweeten the pot for that, I've been putting a lot more exclusive content that can only be found on Patreon. And especially one thing that I was spending a lot of time editing. It's a pretty major thing that I think just about any Angelina Jordan fan would like to see. A lot of you have seen it in some form. Some of you haven't seen it at all, but those of you who have seen it, I think you're going to like what I have done with it. I'm not going to say anything more about it, but I'll have a link to my Patreon. You can always, check these things out and then cancel your membership, after if you feel like it's not for you. Anyway, that's my goal, to reach 50 subscribers with just $1 or $2 a month subscription is fine with me. And okay, so this is Oslo, and there's many versions of it. The reason this was a lot of editing was because this was from Kongsberg 2018, where there wasn't very good video for it at all. And so I've used that audio, but I've used video from a variety of sources. This will also enable me to talk about some other things about Angelina other than just this performance. All right, so this is a vertical format suited for your phone. Let's check this out. This is entirely a review, of course. I've just spent a lot of hours on this. So that's the actual concert there.
Far, far away, there's a little girl. She's singing along with the seagulls in the sky, dancing with the rain.
As always, that beautiful, beautiful tone. And here is an example of one of her earlier songs, and the lyrics are more literal and less metaphorical than she got later. You can see how she's matured as a songwriter. But there's still some very good lyrics here. And of course, that beautiful rich tone is there as always. There's a variety of rehearsals for different performances, as well as some shots from her live concert in Oslo for the launch of her It's Magic album that included Oslo and What Is Life, her two first original songs. Okay, let's continue on. That is so beautiful.
Round and round she goes.
It's an underappreciated song. I love that line, the rainbows remind her. Okay, so this shot here is from a rehearsal where she was rehearsing for a different song for, the name escapes me right now, but in the middle of her rehearsal for this song, they started playing the playback of Oslo, and so she started playing the piano along with it, and that's a great behind-the-scenes video. Like most of these rehearsal videos, it's from the fan club Mozarts, and she has some. You don't hear the sound of her piano playing in this version that I did, but yeah, she plays some really good piano there. So let's continue on.
Down and down she goes in Oslo. The stars are her witnesses. She her eyes will always be back home.
That's beautiful, the way she sings back home there. So you can see that, yeah, in some of the shots with the live performance, it's the military band, but the actual performances that the audio is taken from was a jazz combo, which is pretty much the same jazz combo that she used recently. It's a different drummer, I think, but yeah, one of the best groups that she's ever worked with. Just, this is 10, 11 years old. Maybe some of these are as old as 12, but just gorgeous vocals.
Gentle sounds of the Atlantic Sea makes you miss.
Okay, I gotta mention this. Make she, it should be makes her. And, it's an example of English being not her first language. Not a big deal, of course, but I've seen her do that, use she when she should use her a number of times. This is one I just wonder why, when she showed this to whoever was going to be doing the final recording, they didn't say, oh, you made this error, because I'm sure she would like it to be correct. But it's not a big deal.
You so much. This magic country has heard in the spell.
Crescendo here.
The stars are her witnesses. Forever she will always be back home. By the sea and the waves,
That part where she goes up high is great.
by the mountain and the snow, and warm as in the sky, and that's magic.
See, underappreciated. This is a great, great song.
The stars are my witnesses.
Stars are a frequent element in her lyrics.
I am. My eyes will always be back
Great, great song. There's many versions of it, but I think I like that particular version of it best. Doesn't have the best quality audio, of course. That would be from the actual album. It's Magic. Okay, so before I close, back to my Patreon. I'm trying to do other things to make it more attractive to people. It's based on what I see other people doing with Patreon. I don't want it to be a big commercial enterprise or anything like that, but I notice a lot of reactors will do requests for a small donation. So I'm thinking, especially with editing projects like mashups and just projects that involve a lot of editing, it would be, if you guys could go to Patreon. I haven't figured out yet the mechanism of how they would ask for that in Patreon yet, But yeah, look for that coming up. Ways that you can interact with me more on Patreon and request things, request reactions. Of course, I'm not going to do a reaction to anybody other than Angelina Jordan, unless it's like a comparison reaction, right? Comparing her plus somebody else who sings the same song. So, but anyway, yes, the goal is to reach 50 subscribers, and I think I have 8 right now. I think my highest number was 11, now it's dropped down to 8. Again, I'm putting a lot of things up there that are only on Patreon. Right now I just put 2 things, and there's one big major thing that I think you will really enjoy even if you've already seen it, because of the way I changed it. All right, this has been Chris Walker with Big Angie Fan Channel here in beautiful Hawaii. Aloha.